You're not prepared to admit that Israel's a terrorist organization.
Yeah, but you're wrong.
Kim Jong-un is a peace-seeking leader, despite what, the talking heads say. We're going to de-NATO-fy Ukraine, and we're going to de-Nazify you.
All right, you just sound completely bonkers.
Jackson is holding another much smaller event for Gaza across town. What's your name?
Mirk.
Mirk?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. How are you? He and his followers call themselves MAGA communists. And that isn't supposed to be a joke.
Hey, so you guys always with Jackson and...
You're a journalist?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Do I not look like one?
The first journalist I ever met.
Well, you've come all this way to be here.
Yeah. I feel like Jackson, he always speaks what he thinks. He doesn't have a filter.
All right, it's about 30 minutes to go. But yeah, let's see if they sell it out. I don't know. I don't know what to... I do not know what to expect.
A lot of kids in suits.
Among the suits, a Democrat-turned-MAGA communist in a Hawaiian tank top and flip-flops, who calls himself Charmhole.
Charmhole. Follow me on everything.
So that's your online name?
Yeah, my online name.
Not
my actual name is Adam Service.
Okay.
I'm incredibly American, born and raised in Ohio.
So you're a streamer?
Yeah. I've been on Twitch, but I've been banned off Twitch a few times. They don't like me because I'm very political, like these guys, my heroes, which is weird to say since they're younger than me. But
these guys are your heroes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Seriously?
Yeah. I wouldn't be here if they weren't.
So are you a MAGA communist?
Absolutely, MAGA communist. I used to hate Trump. I would call him old. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to cuss or say bad things.
No, you can cuss, yeah.
Well, no, I used to call him a pedophile, illiterate retard, stuff like that, because I was a big Bernie bro, and I was like, I'll do anything for Bernie, anything, right? And that's why I love these guys, because they just assume you're smart, they're going to tell you all the smartest stuff, and if you don't get it, then you're just going to miss out on the next big thing, which hopefully is MAGA communism, or at least America's form of communism.
MAGA communism.
MAGA communism.
You know, people watching CNN are going to say, you're crazy.
Absolutely, I would hope so.
How's it going, everybody? All right. This is great. It's good to be here. We actually have CNN in the building with us tonight. They're filming some propaganda documentary, which...
The crowd here was mostly male and mostly white.
Today's event is called Free America to Free Palestine. Shout out to the AI gods for giving me this beautiful shot of the American cowboys with the Palestine flag. We need to stop supporting, these genocidal maniacs, and we need to, of course, arrest everyone who is committing these crimes at this very moment, which is almost all of Congress and the White House.
But Jackson had barely started speaking about Gaza.
I've been to Russia, I've been to China. Their major cities are much nicer.
Before he launched into pro-Russia and pro-China talking points.
Now, Russia's better and stronger than ever before, and their leader has a very high approval rating. The more America supports real terrorist entities like Israel, real terrorist countries like Ukraine, the more that we strengthen our actual enemies. And I will just say once and for all, so Piers Morgan never has to ask me again, no, I do not condemn Hamas. Very simple.
Jackson's social media following skyrocketed after the October 7th attack on Israel.
Joe Biden is plunging us into a fascist state.
And he's a big fan of Vladimir Putin.
Most of what is said about Vladimir Putin in the mainstream press is just factually not true. We as communists want to unite with MAGA voters and finish the job of Donald Trump.
As the event came to a close, superfans lined up to meet Jackson.
That was the most inspiring thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I've seen Barack Obama speak. That was something to behold, for sure. You see all the people there and you think, wow, I'm really a part of something.
I really cannot tell if you're doing a bit.
But not everyone who came here was a fan of Jackson's.
Now, what did you think?
I think he's an insane person.
Insane?
Yeah, I think he's insane. Rightfully criticizes America where they should be criticized, but then glorifies the Chinese Communist Party, North Korea, terrorists, that have kidnapped and murdered people. I think it's weird how he ties himself to MAGA and MAGA communism when Donald Trump is the most pro-Israeli president that's ever lived. MAGA communism are complete polar opposites of each other.
Are you going to try to speak to him?
Yeah, I'm going to try to speak to him.
Okay.
I'm going to do so as a gentleman.
Nice to meet you.
Lane Kendall, a provocateur in his own right.
Let's ask about
Who
Palestine.
propped up Hamas? Why do we think Hamas had the ability to do what they did?
That's called propaganda.
Has a history of appearing on online conservative media.
There's one thing when you talk about it, I want to make sure I understand. When you go into things about China, Russia, Iran, especially China, you omit so much about them. I'm from Texas. And the things that you're omitting.
In China?
I have lived in China. I went to Tsinghua University. You don't say that 600 million people in the country still live on less than $1.40 a day.
Well,
why don't you say those things?
Okay. You're very, very emotional. Like
I am, yeah. Because
Jackson quickly realized that he wasn't talking to just another fan.
All right. CNN propaganda. This guy's a CNN agent.
I think CNN is the worst outlet in the country.
Time to get out, buddy. Danny.
Is it the Kremlin?
Get this guy out.
Couldn't answer the questions, could he? Didn't think so. Put that on CNN.
But the men that we met here weren't always this way.
My name's Jackson Hinkle.
Like a few years ago, Jackson was campaigning for progressive causes. Jackson Hinkle has had a similar, albeit more dramatic journey from the political left to the political right. Before he was a social media firebrand and before he was a darling of the Kremlin and Russian state TV, Jackson grew up here. And just a few short years ago, he was a soft-spoken kid who picked up trash on the beach and organized to cut down on plastics in his school.
We really bonded because we were in the same environmental science class.
Josh Green was friends with Jackson all throughout their teens.
We were some of the few liberal students in our entire school. We had a very conservative student body.
Josh and Jackson campaigned for liberal causes together.
And so we would often be ridiculed for standing up for progressive issues like the environment or gun safety or gay rights. People thought that we were, soft leftist snowflakes.
After Jackson graduated high school, he was the youngest person here to run for city council.
I think that a good city council candidate has to be well-versed on the issues.
Orange County is very conservative. What are you rascally kids up to in this run for office?
We're up to a lot right now.
He had a remarkable little career considering he was just out of high school. He's putting himself through junior college. And he was responsible for all the solar panels that you see around San Clemente High School. And that was his idea. And he just had that drive, and that you see in some young people, but not a lot of them.
A natural communicator.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Jackson lost his election bid and sometime thereafter lost his youthful politics as well.
A lot of what I had been force-fed through my education as a young individual was all propaganda.
Something had turned him into this.
You're gonna kind of go down the path of faggots like that. They were all transgenders and gays.
The Nazis?
Yes.
Hey, man.
I'd been searching for answers about Jackson, and he agreed to sit down and talk to me directly.
You're promoting something called MAGA communism.
Yes.
Which to a lot of people is going to sound moronic.
Well, I think it causes a lot of people to reassess their cancellation of the MAGA working class, and they've been written off. They've been called racist or, any sorts of names. They've just been canceled.
You are, in some ways, the quintessential American man, right? You're surfer guy, California. So for the Russians or the Chinese to have somebody like you to go over there and basically shit all over America.
No shitting on America. I love this country. I love the people. I just want it to be better.
Is there not a way to do that without having to fly back and forth to Moscow and seem to be embracing authoritarian regimes?
Well, they're far less authoritarian than the United States.
Come on, man.
Ultimately, ultimately, I live in the generation where for the first time there's going to be a lower standard of living than the previous generation. That's not good.
And I mean, I hear all that, but when you say Russia and China have got it better.
Well, their major cities are much nicer. If you go and take high-speed rail hours into China.
You can't genuinely say that people in Russia and people in China have more liberties than people in the United States?
Well, there's no free speech.
You have a lot of free speech.
Really?
You
think I have free speech?
You don't think you have free speech?
No. I mean, what's the public square today? It's obviously social media.
You have 3 million followers on X. You can post whatever you want. You're hosting events here. How do you not have free speech? What part of your speech is being curtailed?
It's very simple. It's very simple. Yes, I have 3 million followers on X. But what about Instagram? I've been banned. YouTube, I've been banned. I was banned from Raya, a dating site.
Jackson's bans might have something to do with his repeated sharings of hateful posts and his celebrations of violence.
You look like you're in pain.
I'd been left frustrated and confused by Jackson. Did he really believe all the stuff he was saying, or was he just doing it all for social media clout or for money?
I just don't know if I believe you or not.
Whatever his motivations, his message and his propaganda is resonating.
You know, like Donald Trump, Jackson has definitely found a way to build an audience of people who feel disenfranchised or feel pushed away by our society and our system.
Was there ever a moment for you where you were like, wait, what the hell is going on with my friend?
One of the first was when he did the interview with Tucker Carlson.
Joe Biden is plunging us into a fascist state.
Because Tucker Carlson is an asshole. Somebody who, like Jackson, either believes what they're saying or because they get paid a lot to do it. Jackson describes himself as a communist, right? Why? Because he smoked a lot of weed and read Karl Marx. He's the biggest fucking capitalist I've ever seen. I'm so disappointed in what's happened to Jackson. He had this opportunity to be something really positive, but he has become the king of conspiracy theories.
The king of conspiracy theories.
Have you heard of somebody called Jackson Hinkle?
Yes.
What do you think about him?
Not my politics at all.
Jackson had been condemned and disavowed by established pro-Palestinian activists.
People see our cause and our issue as their playground a lot of the times.
But he isn't alone in resetting his political compass.
I feel more like a man already just listening to these gentlemen.
And some of it reflects a big change in American politics.
I think a lot of the younger generation, they have a different perspective of U.S. history of colonialization. They're skeptical of what the government's telling them.
Jackson Hinkle, 8 years ago, was like a Bernie kid. Now he's hanging out at the Kremlin, basically.
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen?
I don't think his political compass is very well aligned.
Joshua Frank is the editor of Counterpunch, one of the best-known left-wing magazines in the world.
I certainly don't think he's on the left. I don't know what a mega communist actually is, and I don't think he does.
One thing that Jackson and I can agree on, we're both American patriots in the sense that we're willing to criticize our own country. I don't disagree with everything that he says. I think there's way too much Russia phobia in this country. Obviously, the war with Russia and Ukraine is horrible, but I think this country needs to eventually work with countries like Russia and China.
You know, I think a lot of the younger generation, they have a different perspective of U.S. history of colonialization. They're further away from World War II and that narrative. They're skeptical of what the government's telling them to believe, especially when they're seeing an alternative in their social media feeds. But that's also where it can get kind of dangerous because you do have to have some sense of media literacy.
Yeah, because it's one thing having a healthy skepticism of any media outlet, really, right? And any narrative that's being pushed. But on the other hand, what you have is people totally abandoning journalism, getting their news from somebody like Jackson Hinkle.
If you or a loved one has ever been fooled by Western propaganda about Ukraine, I don't blame you.
He'll post stuff that is so infuriatingly ill-informed. So many people in his comments, in his community, just take what he's saying as the truth.
Jackson is a Russian propaganda dream, right?
Yeah. Yeah, whether he's doing it and he's on a payroll or not, they're getting a great bargain, right? I mean, if the guy was actually on the left, he would talk about the press in Russia and the crackdown on the free press. They would talk about these things, but they don't, right? And why is that? It raises some flags for me.
Hey, Jackson.
How's it going?
You're breaking up a little bit, but that's okay.
Good. Here in Moscow, Russia. Yes, I see that it is trying to reconnect the internet.
Now he's totally frozen.
When I next spoke to Jackson, he was back in Russia. The Kremlin had organized to bring him to parts of Ukraine it had illegally invaded.
Are they brainwashing you?
No, I think the only people who are being brainwashed are the people paid by the military-industrial complex to spout certain views.
You haven't gone kind of full Tucker Carlson yet, though? You haven't gone to a supermarket and started sniffing bread?
Oh, come on. And coming to a Russian grocery store, the heart of evil, it will radicalize you against our leaders. That's how I feel anyway, radicalized.
Jackson denies taking money from the Russian government.
You're a guest, basically, of the Russian Foreign Ministry, right?
There's multiple private and public individuals that I think are supporting my efforts to see the country and showing me the truth about Russia. I pay for my travels. I pay for my hotel expenses.
Every time I think maybe this guy is mature, you tweet something stupid. You did a poll. You are facing a death sentence before a judge, but the judge is on her period. Are you okay with this? Like, are you just a straight up sexist? I just don't understand. What's the deal with this sort of stuff?
Well, of course, you have to introduce comedy into the dark times. But
more and more of us have people we love, our family, our friends, falling down rabbit holes. Rabbit holes that stoke fear and promote hate. Rabbit holes that can transform people from who they used to be. And rabbit holes that can even take them into war zones at the other side of the world.
Are you being followed by like the Russian security services, or for that matter, the CIA? I mean, surely the American government knows that you're there.
Well, I think if the CIA or the Russian intelligence is doing their job properly, I wouldn't know, and I don't know.
Okay, well, bring me back a fridge magnet or something, will you?
I've actually got a special gift for you. No, you'll like it, I promise.